We are allegedly not in a recession, even though some signs that typically point to a recession have been happening. Listen, I'm not an economist, but I do know that the cost of living is too dang high for most people out there. And a lot of online business owners are also feeling this crunch. Many customers are hesitant to spend extra money right now. Overall, social media engagement is down and has been since the world is sort of opened back up. And a lot of us are comparing our 2022 numbers with our 2020 numbers and thinking, what changed? What am I doing different? So here's the thing, the world has changed, and the world is always going to change. The only constant in this wild world of freelancing is change. So we have to be able to adapt to whatever's going on in the world, whether that is season, whether that's a day of week, whether that's economic situation, world crisis, etc. We have to know how to respond and sell differently in those situations. So today I want to share a few different selling techniques that have been working for me in this season. Now, of course, this could be completely irrelevant 6 months or a year from now. It's important that you as a business owner just are able to listen to your customers, understand what they're really wanting right now, and also just be empathetic, be understanding of people's situations so that you can sell accordingly and, of course, still meet your goals and all that good stuff. So the first thing is developing a service mindset. Now, this should always be a thing, but I think especially in this time, in this season, people are not buying. They are still buying things, but they are looking for value. I think in 2020, when people were sitting at home and the people who were fortunate enough to still be employed, like they were actually saving money because we weren't spending money on eating out, we weren't spending money on vacations, hanging out with friends. And so just throwing money at a program or a service like social media management was kind of like, sure, why not? But today we're back to our normal grind. Gas prices are up and down. Groceries are more expensive than ever. And people really want to make sure that the investment that they're putting in is going to yield them some results. I describe a service mindset simply as this. It's the passion to serve over the passion to sell and make money. I genuinely, if somebody is buying a course from me, if somebody is hiring me to do a service, I want them to see results from it. Like, I don't want to just make a quick buck. I want it to actually yield the results that everyone is looking for here. So going into it with that mentality is almost always going to guarantee that you're going to be successful versus having this scarcity mindset where you just have to like sell. Oh my gosh, I hope they say yes. I hope they say yes, and not being confident in your offer and not really looking out for their best interests. So to illustrate this a little bit for you, I'll tell you what this means. In the past, I have never done discovery calls for my courses. I've always just sold via a landing page, maybe 1 or 2 webinars. I haven't even done a lot of those in the past, and sold through content marketing. It was very impersonal. It's like read this landing page, do this thing, and buy the thing. That worked, in 2020, that worked even before 2020. But today people are looking for a little bit more connection. So I've been offering discovery calls for those who are very serious. I'm not offering it widely because I would be on calls all day long. I'm making it very clear that this is for people who are very interested in my higher ticket courses only. So the courses that are, $500 to $1,000, I'll hop on a quick call. It takes 15 minutes out of my day. My close rate, I think, has been like 90%. But again, they just want some of their questions answered. And somebody told me, I actually had one yesterday, and she was like, it just means a lot that you are here. Like, a lot of people send their, assistants to do this, or I thought I was going to be meeting with somebody on your team. And it just kind of confirms for me that you are the type of person I want to learn with if you are this invested in your students and actually want to get to know them. It has also been extremely helpful for me because I've been doing these discovery calls before the course kicks off in a couple of weeks, and I've been able to hear exactly what they're looking for out of the course so that if it's not written into the course, I still have time to throw in a lesson about one of the things that they're looking for help on. So it's actually been really mutually beneficial and has not taken much time at all. So that's something that you can consider doing if you don't offer discovery calls or you don't offer kind of meet and greets, if you will, for some of your more passive income products, it's something that you can consider in this season. Another thing that I've been using a lot is video responses. I've talked about Vidyard before. I'm a big fan of it. I use it for everything. I use it like to chat back and forth with my clients. I use it to host videos, a backlog of videos that I just want to save for later, and I use it to sell. So again, since I'm selling a course right now, I just had a discovery call, like I said yesterday, with somebody, and she is brand new to social media management. And so she was wondering if I've had students who were also brand new in the past and if I had any success stories from them. So a couple of things, I actually dug into my data, and this is why it's so important to be getting feedback from your students or your clients if you're doing full service work as you go, so that you have this stuff readily available when people ask for it. So I dug through my survey spreadsheet, my exit survey spreadsheet, and I literally went on Vidyard and I anonymized all the data, of course, so I protected my students' identities. But I just walked through the spreadsheet and said, these are all the people who said they were brand new to social media management. Here's what they say. I think it was 36 out of 38 of the people said that they recommended the course for somebody who was brand new. And I could actually show her that data and talk through it with her. And it just made it a lot more personal. It also made it a lot more legitimate. I was showing raw data there, like I couldn't make that up. So that's something that you can consider doing. You can do the same thing for service-based work. I just sent over a proposal last week for a service-based project, put together the proposal, the same proposal that is in my social media management toolbox, and that's in the social media management accelerator that I'll teach in a couple of weeks. I use that template and I put together my proposal, and I thought, you know what? Some of this stuff, like, it just needs additional context. So I did the same thing. I shared my screen on Vidyard and I just presented that proposal just like I would if I was in a room with that client or a prospective client. Bringing that sales process to life, bringing the human side of you onto the screen for them really, really helps. And they were super impressed by it. They were just really happy that I took the time. And, there's just little tidbits that you can add into your presentation verbally that aren't going to be there if you are just sending over a PDF. How boring, right? So the next thing that I have been keeping in mind, and that I recommend you do too, is meeting your customers where they are. So again, I'll use the course example since that's what I'm most heavily selling right now. The price point for this course is a little bit higher than my other courses. It is my highest ticket product, and I stand by that pricing. Comparable courses are selling for $1,500 to $2,000 more than what I'm selling it for. So I couldn't really lower the price too much. I genuinely feel that this is what it's worth. I think it's actually worth more than what I'm selling it for. However, what I can do is I can offer payment plans, which I didn't typically, like for the early bird offer where I pre-sold. Because that was already sold at a little bit of a discount, in the past, I've never offered payment plans for early birds. I've always said, you get this early bird discount if you pay in full. That's that. But keeping in mind everything going on and people feeling the crunch of the world, I just want to be accommodating. So I offered the early bird as a payment plan, and we still have a payment plan going for the full price regular thing as well. That's something that you might consider doing. I have seen other entrepreneurs in my network offer extended payment plans where maybe they do have a $2,500 product. That might be a little bit harder to sell in this season, a higher ticket product like that. But what if instead of doing 3 payments of whatever that's going to be, $750 or whatever, I can't do the math in my head right now, but instead of offering the 3 payments, why don't they offer 6? Now, keep in mind that does come with some risk, because the thing with payment plans, of course, means that they need to keep up with that monthly payment. If their credit card declines it, there is a potential that you're going to be losing out on that income. So use your best judgment there. But for me, it was a risk that I was willing to take, knowing that maybe 1 or 2 people might default on their payments, but it's going to bring in so many more people that really outweigh that. And again, it's just giving that service mindset. It's showing my customer that I genuinely care about them, that I want them to be successful, that I don't want this to be a, credit ruining investment for them. I want to make this work for them. And I've gotten several emails saying that, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it during this time in particular. So think about what you can do in terms of payment plans, or just, making things a little bit more accessible for your clients. The other thing that I've been able to do, again, I can't really lower the price a ton because I genuinely think this course is priced very competitively already, but I can offer bonuses. I can throw additional things in. What can I do that is not going to take, a ton of my time, but that can offer a huge payoff for the people in return? So something that I did for SMMA, this course that I'm selling right now, is I decided to do group calls through the rest of the year. So normally we just do the 8 group calls as a part of the program. They graduate, they get their certificate. And I'm like, okay, good luck. Keep in touch. Tell me what's going on in your life. But I thought, you know what? Let me do a quarterly call. That means 4 calls over the course of the next year. That's 4 hours of my time. That's not the end of the world. That is not like so much time that it just doesn't outweigh the amount of additional revenue that it's going to bring in. And frankly, it's also fun for me. I enjoy connecting with my students, and I do actually miss them once they graduate from the program. I'm like, I wonder what they're up to. So I think it's going to be a win-win. And announcing that bonus on my last webinar that I did got people really excited. They were like, oh my gosh, this is what I need. A lot of courses that I've taken have just kind of like scooted me along and treated me like a number, but this is going to be having a real relationship with you, throughout the next year. And I really think I'll be able to help serve in a different way and in a better way than I ever really have. So maybe it's that for you. Maybe you have a smaller ticket course. Maybe if you are doing full service, you can throw in, an additional set of graphics or something like that is not going to take up a ton of your time, but is going to be that thing that kind of gets people over that hump and gets them to see that like this person actually cares about my success. They're invested, they're on board, and this is a great deal. People do want a deal, okay? I get it. The last thing I want to talk about is surprising and delighting. I love surprising and delighting my clients all the time. I love feeling like a little fairy and just like sprinkling in like, oh, you need this? I got you. Let me, give you this little bonus, or, let me introduce you to this person, or, just whatever. I love connecting people. I love making people happy. Like, I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. But again, especially in this season, figure out ways that you can just really show up for them. So whenever somebody enrolls in one of my courses and they tag me or they tag the Online Business Launch Lab account, I make sure that I follow them. It's a really simple little thing, but I'll follow them and maybe stalk them a little bit on Instagram, show them some love on Instagram. It's a very small gesture, right? But it, again, just shows that we're showing up for them, that we're excited to meet them in the course, that we're like hype about them, that we're here to support them. So a little tiny thing like that can go a long way. I haven't done this personally, but somebody actually in one of my kind of networking groups was telling a story. I can't remember who they were talking about, but some kind of business coach or educator or something. He said that he actually calls people after they enroll in his program. I actually love that. I would totally consider doing that for a higher ticket product, picking up the phone and calling your client and saying, hey, thanks so much for hiring us as your agency. I'm so excited to start working on your social media account. Or, hey, thank you so much for enrolling in this course. I can't wait to meet you in September. How cool would that be? People just don't do that stuff. When I joined my first mastermind group, it was a higher ticket mastermind. And it was a pretty big investment, but I was like, whatever. I really like this lady. Like, I think it's going to be the right decision. And I ended up getting a package in the mail with a couple of books that we were going to talk about throughout the year. It was a year-long mastermind. And I mean, that's like a $40 cost for her. And it was a multi-thousand, I think it was like $5,000 or something for this mastermind. So it wasn't about the money at all. I could have bought the books myself, but it was just like that little gesture that again showed that she cared. It had a handwritten note, things like that. She also sent me a Christmas card later that year, little things like that. So think about how can you surprise and delight? How can you show your clients that you are grateful for them? Even little things like on my master classes, I always try to end them with a thank you so much for being here. Whether you purchased this or not, thank you for supporting me and watching my videos and sitting through this webinar. I had fun with you. Little tiny things like that can make people feel really appreciated. And the thing is, people have a lot of choices, People have a lot of choices nowadays. The online business world is saturated. There's a lot of people doing what we do. So we have to be grateful for the people who made the choice in us. That's it. Short and sweet one for you today. I just want to share these 3 things that I think we should be paying attention to in this season, or just any season where things are a little bit, a little bit difficult, when the going is getting a little bit tough in regards to sales. Let me know in the comments if you're watching on YouTube if you have any other tips or any other sales strategies or techniques that have been working well for you. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful weekend. We are wrapping up sales for SMMA. If you are interested in joining, I'll leave the link for you down below. Class starts in just a couple of weeks. We'll be closing the doors pretty soon here, so be sure to get in there. If you're interested, you can send me an email or a DM if you have questions about it as well, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye.